So as usual, Motorola is launching fresh G-series smartphones at roughly the same rate that Sabrina Carpenter spaffs out pop ballads all about her labia. And this here Moto G87 is one of the most premium and expensive options for 2026, wedged somewhere just between budget-friendly blower and proper mid-range mobile. You got that usual slick Pantone design, fresh new 200 megapixel main camera, and overall some pretty respectable specs. But how is it for the battery life, the gaming chops, all that good stuff? Let's have a proper good squint at the Motorola G87, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe, ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, quick wee splash of deja vu as the Moto G87 looks and feels rather similar to the old G77. It's an impressively slender finish despite the fact this is another 6.78-inch whopper, and not the chunkiest bezels around, mercifully as well, reasonably symmetrical, and a completely flat display as well. I know some people really don't like those curvy screens. I would have preferred a slight bit of curvature around back just to improve the overall hand feel, but hey, otherwise can't complain about the arse end at all. It's just your typical plastic construction for the edges and the back end as well, but around back, Motorola has added its usual soft touch finish, which does feel rather lovely and adds a splendid bit of grip as well. While that camera bump is barely a bump at all, it seamlessly blends in with the back. At worst, it's a gentle hillock. And Motorola is offering the G87 in a choice of two different Pantone certified colours. You've got Blue Atoll, quite a bright bold effort, otherwise this here Overture version, which appears to just be a posh way of saying dark bluish grey. Now one wee grumble is that you've got a Gorilla Glass 7i display which is reasonably scratch resistant, but Motorola has been a bit stingy. They haven't slapped a screen protector on there. Other Gorilla Glass 7i smartphones that I've tested out and reviewed have been just lightly dusted in tiny wee scratches after a few weeks. So if you want to keep this thing in perfect nick, I would definitely highly recommend slapping on your own screen protector. But otherwise, the Motorola G87, a reassuringly tough bugger. It's passed no less than 13 military standard 810H tests to prove what a hard case it is. Extreme temperatures, few knocks, all that kind of stuff. And it's IP68 and IP69 water, dust and spurt resistant. Big upgrade over the old Moto G77 means if you take it on your holidays to the beach, around the swimming pool, all that kind of stuff, well, no worries. As usual for this sort of price point, to unlock the Moto G87 you've got a basic optical in-display fingerprint sensor. The good news is I've had absolutely zero jip from this thing. It is positioned rather low down on the screen, so it's a bit of a stretch for the old thumb, but only ever fails to recognise me if my hands are proper, moist or mucky. You've also got a bit of face unlock as backup if you want to use that. And of course, there's a good bit of Android 16 slapped on here with, I believe it's 3 guaranteed OS updates and 4 years of security patching here in the UK and Europe, but don't expect them to be coming through particularly timely, those security patches. They certainly won't be trickling in every month. At the moment, it's still languishing on the March security update, for instance, despite the fact it's frickin' June. But I do love the mostly stock version of Android that Motorola slaps on its smartphones. The notifications panel, the apps tray, etc. all smacks of the likes of the Pixel smartphones. Unfortunately, Motorola is throwing more and more crapware on its phones. You've got the likes of Booking.com, my nemesis, Amazon shenanigans, Facebook, LinkedIn. Notice Temu's started creeping on here as well if you want to buy cheap tat that'll break in seconds. So you just have to spend a wee while just getting all that to bugger right off. What I mind a lot less is that Motorola has chucked a few of its own apps on here, and these are usually pretty good. So for instance, there's the main Moto app, which acts as a kind of hub, allows you to quickly personalize your smartphone. Not as dense here as some rivals. For instance, the fingerprint animation, you've got an almighty selection of 3 different options there. As usual, if you fancy an always on display, well, you're out of luck basically. You've got to angrily poke and prod the screen to wake it up and see if there's any notifications there. But as always, fantastic gesture support, including the likes of swipe to split and your Uncle Spert's favourite, bit of fast torch. So if you ever find yourself in a dark and scary place, for instance Hull, no worries, quick karate chop, and there shall be light. And you got a bunch of other cracking features on here as well, including a dedicated gaming mode, but more on all that shenanigans later. And unlike some other Moto G series blows, you do have Motorola's full suite of other apps, including a bit of Moto Secure, which complements the excellent Android security features with a bunch of other tools. and to help keep you protected from online threats, etc. And the likes of Smart Connect, which has some decent tools as well, allowing you to hook up to a laptop or a desktop, share your files, share your apps, even use the Moto G87 as a webcam if you fancy it. You've got 256 gigs of storage on here, which is great news, as some manufacturers still being a bit stingy, just making do with 128. And the Moto G87, one of few smartphones these days that actually supports micro SD memory cards, so you can slap in a card up to 2 terabytes in size to expand that storage. Pretty good if you just want to back up your photos and everything. You've also got a bit of eSIM support, which is always great news if you do a lot of traveling, and not too much on the AI front either. You've got the usual Google shenanigans like Gemini, Circle to Search, but Motorola hasn't tried to stuff its usual suite of its own AI tools on here, which some people might consider a plus. As for the connectivity, well, I have had some issues with Wi-Fi. It's not been the nippiest, that's for sure, so downloading whopping great honkers like Wuthering Waves basically took all friggin' day. It's a similar issue to what I had with Samsung's Galaxy A57, and I did try downloading Wuthering Waves on another phone side by side with this on the same Wi-Fi network at the same time, and the other phone absolutely fine, quite comfortably doing 10 megs a second or whatever, while this was crawling along at about 100 kilobytes per second. Although mercifully I've had bugger all issues streaming a bit of Spotify, bit of video on YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, etc. here on the Moto G87. And they look pretty bloody lovely as well on that 6.78-inch Extreme AMOLED display. Seems to be basically the same tech you got slapped on that G77. 2772 by 1272 pixel resolution, so the visual's pretty crisp, despite the fact this is a whopping great display. Bugger all HDR streaming capabilities, but the contrast is fine, colours reasonably natural. You can, if you want to, switch to the vivid mode, for instance, in the display settings, which makes things a bit brighter, a bit cooler. And it's a pleasantly bright screen as well. I've maxed out the brightness here, and as you can see, even with those fierce studio lights reflecting right off the glossy panel, you can still clearly see everything. Nice smooth panel as well, 120Hz refresh as usual, and you do have flicker prevention on here as well if you are a bit more sensitive to that OLED display tech. And the Motorola G87 does technically sport a stereo speaker setup as well, although the top speaker, just that earpiece jobby, so not exactly the most powerful. And when you max out that volume, the audio does get rather tinny, has to be said. Bugger all bass, bit of distortion and everything, so I would generally say, yeah, hook up a pair of headphones or connect a speaker or something. It's good old Bluetooth 5.4, bit creaky, but it works absolutely fine. You got the usual Dolby Atmos support slapped on here too. You hop into the settings here, you'll see you've got smart audio by default, but you've got a variety of other presets. You can also jump into custom. You've got a 10-band EQ there that you can piddle around with if you want to set up your own specific output. Now, the Motorola Moto G87 is powered by MediaTek's Dimensity 6400 chipset. It's an energy-efficient platform that Motorola also stuffed in its cheaper Moto G77. It's backed here in my review sample with 8 gigs of RAM. Now, the overall performance here on the Moto G87 is generally okay. You know, you'll see the odd judder and stumble here and there as you're flicking between your various apps and everything. And of course, I already mentioned my Wi-Fi woes. You know, most people will be perfectly happy with what they get here. You know, it's all generally fine. The camera app usually loads up fairly quick, and it's reasonably fast as far as the shutter speed's concerned and everything. Not too much lag unless you're trying to shoot loads of bloody photos at once, in which case obviously doesn't work quite so well. Of course, if you are a gamer, well, don't expect to play more demanding fare like Wuthering Waves, because they generally run like a one-legged sloth wearing a concrete girdle. And that is despite defaulting to the lowest possible graphics settings. Even when I switched on that turbo performance mode in the gaming menu, well, this can't rescue it from a tragically low frame rate which often dipped into single figures. Thankfully, as with the majority of smartphones, more basic optimized Android titles like Call of Duty ran absolutely fine. Again, those graphics are set to low, but this time the gameplay was refreshingly smooth. So yeah, if you're after better performance at this sort of price point, I'd say maybe look at a Poco or something like that instead. And as for the battery life, well, it's a 5,200 mAh capacity cell stuffed inside of the Motorola Moto G87. Again, the same as that Moto G77. Starting to notice a bit of a theme here. And this may seem a wee bit measly compared with quite a lot of mid-range smartphones in 2026. Certainly the likes of the Pocos, etc. tend to sport at least 6,000, 7,000 mAh batteries even these days. But you know, that's still as big a battery as you'll get stuffed inside the likes of the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. And combined with the energy efficient chipset, the fairly stock version of Android, etc. as well, I found that battery life was excellent on this thing. Even with incredibly heavy use, you'll happily get all day play on a single charge. I'm talking like double digit screen on time. You can even play absolute battery guzzlers like Wuthering Waves on that lowest graphics setting for 5.5 hours if you want to put yourself through all of that. And of course you get even longer on the likes of Call of Duty. Not the greatest news if you do need to do an emergency recharge or anything. However, you've got a mere 30 watt wired charging support here on the Moto G87, so it'll take over an hour to fill back up again once you bung a cable in it. And there's sod all wireless charging support as well, so I was really hoping that Motorola would have, at the very least, you know, upgraded the wired charging tech a wee bit for this sort of £300-ish price point. But hey bloody ho, I guess. So far you'd be forgiven for confusing the Moto G87 for that G77, as the only real difference has been the water resistance. But you do also get a snazzy fresh new 200 megapixel camera slapped on the G87. And this shoots 12.6 megapixel of photos by default. You can swap it up to an ultra high-res 200 megapixel mode if you do want to shoot at that full resolution. Although, as the camera app itself points out, this is best used in well-lit environments. And even so, it doesn't really bump up the detail levels quite as much as I would have hoped. So don't expect ultra crispy results when you do pinch in. Of course, there's no dedicated telephoto shooter here on the Moto G87, so when you are zooming, it is just digital zooming, so again, just cropping in. The only other shooter you got slapped on here is a basic 8 megapixel ultra wide angle sensor. And I found that generally everyday photography is absolutely fine here on the Moto G87. As usual, it does tend to brighten up your pics with that bit of post-processing, which is quite popular overall, even if it does occasionally saturate. It takes away from some of the authenticity of your snaps. But bold colours come out nice and bright and vivid. And in low light, the results aren't too bad at all. Again, colours captured reasonably cleanly. Not too much grain creeping in there to ruin the atmos. You got loads of bonus camera modes slapped on here as well, including Motorola's fresh new frame match and a dedicated pro mode, where you can snap in RAW format if you fancy it. Portrait snaps generally come out fine. This is me trying to look happy, not terrifying and feeling miserably. And this right here is contemplative Uncle Spurt, just pondering the meaning of life, or most likely just thinking what to have for lunch. Pickled onion and quaver sandwich. And then as for video, well, the Motorola G87 can't quite handle Ultra HD 4K resolution shooting. Can shoot in 2K resolution, but only at 30 frames per second. If you stick it up to 60 FPS, as you can see, drops back down to full HD. But I found that video captured using those rear cameras on the Moto G87 is generally alright, again, for your basic shareable home movie shenanigans. The stabilization's pretty decent, audio pickup's reasonably clear as long as it's not gusty or anything. So fine for snapping your kids or cats or other fluffy things you come across. And then around the front end of the Motorola G87, you've also got yourself a 32 megapixel selfie shooter, which again can record your lovely mug at up to 2K resolution at 30 frames per second. Again, the stabilization's alright, audio pickup fine as long as you're not outdoors on a gusty day. So, you know, perfectly fine for your video chat shenanigans, etc. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a tasty wee nutshell is the fresh new Motorola G87, a smartphone which kind of struggles to have its own identity really, especially as it's mostly the same to Motorola's own G77, mostly with the exception of that camera tech, which is pretty good for your everyday snaps and everything. As always, love that soft touch design. You've now got the added reassurance of that water resistance as well. The battery life is banging. Stock Android experience generally great. Few wee grumbles like the lack of an always on display. The fact that those updates never particularly timely with Motorola. My main qualms, however, come with the performance side of things. It's not the nippiest blow around, certainly at this sort of price point, and I did have some Wi-Fi wars as well. Anyway, that's what this knackered old northern knobber reckons, but what do you guys think of the Motorola G87? Be great to your thoughts down in the comments below. If you want to see the big rivals that the G87 has to contend with, there's lots at this sort of price point, including the likes of the excellent Nothing Phone 4a. I'll definitely check out my roundup of the best mid-range smartphones right now. Please do box subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers, everybody. Love you.